Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. And as promised in the previous video, going forward I'm just going to be doing a lot of collection updates. In the past year I have bought an enormous amount of stuff and added it to my collection, and as the year went by, it was my intention to just keep talking about the stuff and keep showing and doing collection updates regularly, but as you know, I got burned out as we went into the summer and had to take a break, and well, here I am, I'm back again, and the collection updates are going to be what we're going to be doing going forward, and it's, like I said, lots of stuff I bought, and not just dark ambient, because as I also noted, I wanted to expand with this channel and just include all the dark music that I, listen to and collect and do these kind of videos and share it with you guys, because I think there's people out there that would really like the kind of combination of reviews for dark ambient and all its related subgenres and black metal and other metal and just dark wave, gothic music, all that kind of dark stuff. I think it's a good, it could be a good hub to just get people to come to this channel if there's just more diversity, I think. So we're gonna get things going. Alright guys, welcome back, and as you already noticed, I have music playing in the background of this video, and I'm going to try something different here where I won't have to edit the music and I'll just have it play in the background, because I think if I have the music playing while I'm talking about these videos, it's going to be a lot easier to express my thoughts and all that kind of stuff too. So, alright. Up first is Hulder and their album God/Slastering, Hymns of a Forlorn Peasantry. And Hulder, in a relatively short amount of time, has gotten a lot of attention in the black metal scene. This is a one-woman black metal project with a session male drummer. It's interesting to point out right from the get-go that females have always kind of been in the black metal scene, much as females have always been in the heavy metal scene in general, but they've always sort of taken this sort of sort of more minimal role, maybe. When I think back to females in black metal, especially in the 90s, I always think back to Gehenna. They had a female keyboardist for a while, and also, of course, Sarah Jezebel Diva from Cradle of Filth. She was with the band for a number of years doing backing vocals, and but that's the thing. Nowadays, obviously, there's a lot more, female fronting bands and all that kind of stuff, but anyway, the point I'm trying to make really is that there's never really been a really good solo female black metal artist until Hulder. I know a lot of people like Maricare, but if you're actually looking at the album credits of the album, you will find that she didn't actually didn't play that many instruments on the album, whereas Hulder, the creator of this CD, she plays everything but the drums and writes all the music, and it's very cool because where Maricare was kind of more, started out sort of Ulverish influenced black metal. It progressed into, I guess, just pure folk music now, which is good, and I like it for what it is, but it's just, that CD got a lot of attention back then when she first came out with that, maybe back in, 2016 maybe. Got a lot of attention, and, what the fuck was I trying to say? Oh god, I'm really high. Okay, so right from the get-go, one of the things that really intrigued me about this album was the fact that the album title was God/Slastering, and I thought there, thinking to myself, what the fuck is God/Slastering? I never heard that word before, and that seems kind of bad considering how long I've been listening to black metal and all, but I never heard that word before, so I had to look it up, and I guess this is what God/Slastering means. Blasphemy, as defined in some religions or religion-based laws, is an insult that shows contempt, disrespect, or lack of reverence concerning a deity, or a sacred object, or something considered inviolable. Some religions consider blasphemy to be a religious crime. So, God/Slastering, I guess, is just another word for blasphemy, so that's cool. So of course my inquisitive nature led me even elsewhere, and I had to look up what a Hulder was, because that got me curious too. So, a Hulder or a Huldra is a seductive forest creature found in Scandinavian folklore. Her name derives from a root meaning covered or secret in Norwegian folklore. She is known as Huldra, the archetypal Hulder, though folklore presupposes that there is an entire Hulder race and not just a single individual. She is known as a Skogsra, forest spirit, or Talmeja, Pine Tree Mary, something, another folklore, whatever the fuck. Anyway, so there was a lot of interesting questions answered with this album right away, but and as I already said, there was a lot of hype around this album, so I was really curious to see if like all the hype was, you know, going to live up to its expectations, and I bought this album blindly, and I absolutely loved it. I mean, like, it's rare where like a band's really getting hyped and I go check it out, I'm like, holy shit, but this was one of those moments where like I got the CD in my hand and I was like, whoa, fuck yeah, this is justified, and finally the stupid crowd is focusing on a good band too. So I really loved it right from the get-go, and it's a very cool CD because, like, even though it was made in 2020 last year, it has this feeling of like just old classic Scandinavian black metal. It has this feel, it reminds me of like, well, a lot like early Satyricon and Ulver, and the main reason I choose those bands is because there's a lot of acoustic guitars in this album, a lot of, I guess, like sort of medieval sounds, and there's some, you know, dark ambient and dungeon synth drapes too, so it's really got that old school classic vibe to it. And also the production and the guitar riffs, just the whole feel of it is just very vintage. And I mean, I guess that's what a lot of things are these days, just making vintage music, because music was just fucking better back in the day. But so I get it, I understand why bands do it, but this is just a really great album because she just really nailed it. She just totally nailed the classic Scandinavian, like 95, 96 kind of black metal feel, I guess. What I really love about the CD is just like it has these really colossal riffs. Just, I mean, well, not colossal, but like just, it's simple black metal riffs, but goddamn, they're so catchy, and just like the energy of these songs is really, it's really, I mean, it's one of those albums that can like really get you like energetic and just, I guess, like wake you up or whatever, you know. And yes, black metal should do that, but sometimes, you know, when black metal's boring or it's just like that high-speed black metal, it can be more hypnotic and just put you to sleep. Whereas this album is like, and I don't know if this will sound weird, but like this is an album I can listen to at the gym, and well, actually I have, so there you go. It's a very energetic, just good feel and good pace to the songs, and they insert like the acoustic guitars or the more, you know, ambient characteristics and dungeon synth characteristics here and there. Just, it picks it up really well, and it's just a great flow to the CD. And it's only like a little over, I think, or maybe not, just a little under 40 minutes, so it's just a quick slab of just really great old school classic black metal. And I mean, I've been playing this album, you know, for several weeks now, so I think I got about a month ago, and I mean, it's awesome, that's all I can say. Also, it's worth noting that the drummer does a really fantastic job. I mean, you know, again, it's black metal, so it's not overly technical or diverse, which, you know, that would be weird if it wasn't black metal, but the drummer does a fantastic job. And I mean, I just love Hulder's shrieking vocals. She does a fantastic job, and even, you know, it's a grim, dark voice. You can still kind of understand what she's saying too, which is cool, and also a bit rare in black metal. Usually the vocals are so screechy or garbled up you wouldn't be able to understand, but it's kind of cool that you can, you know, mostly make out her words during these songs. Alright, so look at the album cover then, shall we? So on the front cover we have Hulder herself. She's out in nature, and then she's got some I guess like some sort of like gargoyle guardians her on the forest, and she's like, oh, I give you pine tree, and they're like, oh, I forgot to mention the reason why I'm giving her some weird European accent is because she's originally from Belgium. I don't remember where, because Belgian country or cities are really hard to pronounce, but she's from Belgium originally, and now she lives in Portland, Oregon, USA. So don't know what brought her to the USA, but that's cool, and we're happy to have you here. All right. Look at the back cover here, and there's the track listing, and I bought this off of Bandcamp, and I asked Hulder to sign it, and she did. It's super cool, nice black metal signature. Looks really cool. You know, lots of upside down crosses, as you should be, or should have. And then inside we have a picture of Hulder doing something satanic for sure, you know, chilling out in the forest, burning some Christians, you know, good stuff. Fun stuff for the whole family. I mean, I would. Then we have another picture of Hulder here on the booklet with the album title. Very cool. Looking lyrics. More lyrics. Yep, you guessed it, more lyrics, and then another picture of Hulder. So, very dedicated woman to black metal. This is awesome. It's totally old school, and I mean, for what it's worth, I mean, I never really got into all this, this newer sounding black metal, this more the Cascadian metal stuff or whatever the fuck they want to call it. I've always been more into the 90s sound, be it totally raw black metal or the more keyboard or synthesized stuff. I also love, of course, too. But yeah, I love it all, and this is just a fantastic album. I mean, if you're into any old school black metal from the 90s, I think you would absolutely love this album. It's Hulder's God-Slastering Hymns of a Forlorn Peasantry. Alright guys, so we're moving on, and this was a big one for me, alright? So if you remember back to the episode 2 of the Inner Sanctum, and if you do remember episode 2 of the Inner Sanctum, hell yeah, man, thanks for sticking around. But if you want a quick refresher of what I mentioned but if you want like a real quick refresher of what I talked about in episode 2 of the Inner Sanctum was Northaunt's The Ominous Silence, which is, honestly, if you had to put a gun to my head and ask me what my favorite dark ambient album is, I would probably say Northaunt's. I would probably say Northaunt's The Ominous Silence. So anyway, in episode 2, I was reviewing the re-release from Cyclic Law, which came out I think 8 years ago maybe, and I mentioned in that video that I had the original pressing of the album, but I either lost it or accidentally sold it because I used to sell a lot more CDs back in the day, and yeah, I lost it, and it crushed me when I truly realized it was gone. And then when I started hitting the internet, I started seeing that people had really jacked the price up on Discogs, and I was seeing anywhere from $30 to $90 for it, and I was like, really? So I was like, fuck, man, I'm never gonna own it now. And just recently, well, actually back in late July, I was digging through Discogs, just casually looking for some deals, as I often do, and I found the Ominous Silence for $20 from this seller from Mexico, and I was like, oh fuck yeah! So I got it really quickly, and I was super hyped on it. And then something happened where I guess something got delayed with all the post coming from Mexico, so I didn't get the album until just last week, which is mid-September, and I should probably tell you right here that this video is being filmed on September 19th, but it probably won't be on YouTube for another couple weeks, because I gotta get through all those old re-reviews first or whatever. So anyway. So I was super hyped when I got it, but it took just about 2 months to get here, and I was just like, oh my god, when it takes that long, I'm just thinking it got snagged somewhere, and I'm not gonna get it, I'm still not gonna have the album. But then just kind of randomly one day it showed up, and I was like, holy shit, man, hell yeah, that's so cool. So I had it back in my life, and I was really happy because as I said earlier, this is for all intents and purposes, this is by far my favorite dark ambient album. It is one of the first albums I got into, well, I think actually probably the first dark ambient album I got into after Mortis. And what I liked about this album is it kind of had some of that, I guess, just, not dungeon synth feel, but just the production, the atmosphere felt very similar to that old Mortis stuff, I guess, in a way. I'm not explaining exactly. It doesn't have the medieval feeling, of course, but just with the synth sound and stuff like that, it's just, it brought me back to all that. It always has, and it's cool. So, as I was saying, this was probably the first dark ambient album I got into after getting into Mortis. And this is an album that's just, it defines excellence in my mind. It just has some of the most peaceful but also haunting synthesizers, just this richly dark atmosphere to it. Just it really makes you feel as you listen you're being exposed to that dark side of nature, and it really takes you just deep into these ominous, lonely landscapes where just you feel no hope and no happiness, but still kind of underneath all this music there still is that kind of small lingering hope you're gonna get out of whatever this predicament is that you're in. And just the way this album flows is it's just perfect. There's subtle cinematics, there's the occasional acoustic guitar from when Kedal Sorakur was in the band, and just great stuff. I mean, it's a beautiful album, and I hope it's the Cyclic Law version is still in print and easy to find, because this is an album that this album it should be in print. It should always be in print so people can get it, because it's that good. I mean, this is the number of the beast in the dark ambient scene as far as I'm concerned. It's it's a classic album. It's just one of those things that everyone should have the ability to own, and it should just continue to be re-released by labels. So yeah, I just want to talk a little bit more about the album and just, you know, my personal feelings on it. But, you know, all in all, it's just it's cool to have it back in my collection, and it's sad it ever left my collection. So here's a look at the front cover, and of course, it's worth noting that this original version on Fluttering Dragon is considerably different from the re-release on Psychic Law. And there's the back cover with, I guess, what is sort of like, I guess like the Northaunt sigil of sorts. It's sort of like, it's, I guess it's like, you know, like, I don't know, like a root or something, or a weed, or it's a booger monster trying to crawl away. I don't know. It's cool though. So, anyway, then, you know, look at the booklet. There's the front cover, of course, again. Don't want to ask. I'm being weird. We have some recording information, and then we have a picture of Kettle and Hardlef up there, and it's interesting because Kettle looks like he's melting in this picture. Where is he? I don't... Yeah, anyway. So, then we have more of Hardlef's photography on the other pages with lyrics and quotes and such. Yeah, so, and a few more pictures here. Alright, well, yeah, I mean, that about wraps it up for this album. I mean, as I said, you know, it's an all-time classic, and it's an album that needs to stay in print, and, you know, it's definitely a dark ambient album to start with. I mean, if you listen to this album and you're like, yeah, I like this, then keep going down the rabbit hole. Or if you listen to this album and you're like, this is boring and stupid, then just don't get into dark ambient, I guess. That's my advice right there on this subject. So, yeah, you know, if you want more of the history on this album, definitely look up my other old review where I talk about it in pretty good detail. Even though it was the second episode that you're seeing them, it still was somewhat fluid, I think, and enjoyable. Hopefully, yeah. So this is a project I've talked about before. This is the project known as Nothing, and their debut album, Nondescript. Ouroboros Vermiform Ouroboros Sanguine, their debut album. Alright, so in case you don't know, Nothing was a project of Jason William Walton from Agalock and like 20 other bands. The guy's been an extremely prolific artist over the past 25, maybe even 30 years. I think one of his first bands was a grindcore band in the early 90s, so maybe almost 30 years that he's been involved in music. But Nothing was a project he did from, I believe, about 1997 to about 2005, and it was a project that covered a lot of different ground. It was everything from, I guess just, you know, dark ambient, industrial, you know, whatever you define as experimental electronic, you know, noise, music, power, industrial, maybe even, you know, something a little, I don't know, I guess not too bombastic, but there was some percussion here and there, and my personal favorite recording that he released was The Gray Subaudible, which for me is an extremely influential for me as an artist in the dark ambient experimental scene, and I mean, for what it's worth, I think it's a timeless masterpiece that deserves more attention, as I've said before. But anyway, let's talk about this debut album, or maybe it's just a collection of demos or something. I don't really know. I always thought The Gray Subaudible was considered a debut album, but I could be wrong. So it was released on the Root of All Evil Records, which was a record label from Minnesota, and it used to be run by a guy named Earl Root, but if I remember correctly, he passed away in the early 2000s, maybe 2002, 2003 or something like that. I don't know, but he did that label for many years, and it was mostly a heavy metal label. In fact, I think almost everything he released on the label was heavy metal, except for this CD. So, I guess maybe Jason and him had worked with some other projects or something, but, you know, I don't know what the whole story was, but Root of All Evil Records was mostly a heavy metal record label. So, this represents, you know, I believe, the earliest recordings from the Nothing project, and it is this strange mixture of, you know, dark wave, industrial, and there's some noisier characteristics. There's even some like weird sort of like I guess like kind of dancey bits in it too, which it's just kind of like okay, well I wasn't really expecting that, but it's kind of cool, you know. So it's a diverse CD, and I used to own this back in the day. Like I want to say I originally bought it like in 2002, and then some point in time I was just like, well, it's not really that good, and I don't really need to hoard CDs. So I sold it, and probably sold it for like $2 or $3 at my local record store. And that must have been at least 10 years ago already. And then it just, as I was kind of wandering through Discogs again, I saw it in a seller's shop, and I was just like, man, I kind of wonder what it sounded like, because I hadn't heard it in 10 years, and totally forgotten about it. So I was like, well, $5, I could justify that purchase, and I got it, and yeah, it was cool to hear it. But as I sort of already revealed, it's not necessarily like the most brilliant CD, but I think what it has going for it, and this could be said for a lot of Nothing's discography, it has an original feel to it, and if nothing else, at least a feel of experimental electronic music from the 90s, because that's when the whole stuff surfaced. Another interesting thing to mention is that John Holm from Agalok, he also has a role on this album. He was doing backing vocals, and I'm assuming the percussion on the album as well, because this album has this strange mixture of, sort of heavily synthesized atmospheres intermingled with what, at least to my ear, sounds like real drums. So it's kind of cool that he took that initiative and to use like electronic drums or whatever, programmed drums. So I'll look at the front cover then, and we have this poor female here who has undoubtedly cut her wrists and left this miserable world behind. And oh, there she is again. This is so gothic, in spite of not really being gothic things at all. But there you go, she's dead, and she's still beautiful, and she's got track titles and all that kind of stuff on her. Ooh, yeah, focus in on that, baby. Oh, yeah. Oh, that's weird. So on the tray card, we have a drawing, arrow, go this way for service. Then we have, album credits and all that kind of stuff. And here's the interesting thing to note about the album. The artists are given the following album credits. Jason Walton, he plays the confusion. John Hom, he is the apathy. And Michelle Luce, she is silence. And I only realized, I remember when I had the CD back in the day, I was like, oh, okay, that's cool, I guess. But I kept listening to the CD, thinking to myself, what was Michelle Luce's connection now? Because I don't hear any female vocals, so I was always wondering, what did she do on this album? And then I thought about it, and I'm like, it's because that's probably her on the front cover, and silence because she didn't actually contribute anything to the album. So, yeah, a funny realization, I guess, owning the album the second time. So, and then in the booklet we have pictures of Jason, John, and Michelle. I mean, it's pretty cool because some of these guys are more known musicians, so it's kind of cool seeing, these old photos of them. So it was cool to get to scan, and as I said, just $5, and while it's not the greatest CD I own, it's still interesting and worth having. Again, just definitely something I'll throw on every couple of years and check out. So anyway, guys, just wanted to say thanks for checking out this collection update, and as I said, I'm feeling a little more motivated. I'm going to continue on the channel, so hopefully I'll have some more cool stuff to talk about in a couple weeks. Alright, see you next time.